but he himself was not a dalil. Umar did not take Abu Bakr as a dalil. And Uthman did not take Umar as a dalil. And Ali did not take Uthman as, and if anybody was dalil, who was going to be? It would be the Khulafa al-Rashidin. No, they was following the dalil. So Muslims, we need to follow the proper doctrine. Whether it's the issue of Aqidah or the issue of the fiqh. And how we found out the proper doctrine? Through the ulama and the fuqaha. Not by our own whims. What is the proper doctrine of Islam? What's the proper manhaj of Islam? What's the proper dalil of Islam? After that, we need to develop the resources. And I will not be too much further.
Just checking the camera.
We must develop the resources. What are the resources? We don't mean the religious resources. The resources. We should ask each other, Aki, where do you study? What is your position? What is your work? What have you developed? What is your profession? What is your business? We need to identify every sister and every brother in the community and ask them what resource they have developed and put it on a database. So when the khatib or the imam or the amir, when he's talking to the people, he's not talking to just empty faces. When he looks at someone, he knows what his resource represents. So when he needs something, who does he call upon? The one whom he knows they have it. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, the wealthy people, they should show some of their wealth on their person. Is it? Why? So when the people is in need, they know who to ask. But if the wealthy people is pretending like they're bums, Islam, we don't do that. You know, that don't mean dressing wealthy. It means that you should wear some kind of distinction so you are known. So we should know who is educated. We should know who has a professional skill. We should know who has a business. We should know who has an industry. We should know who is the people best skilled in certain areas so we identify and are able to develop the resources. Next, we must implement the dawah. Implement the dawah. This don't mean once a month or once every 3 months we put up some pamphlets out in the community and put some tables up outside the mosque and we make some Kool-Aid or some drink and we invite the people to come to the masjid and give them some pamphlets and give them a little talk on Islam. We call it Islamic Awareness Open House Day. No, that's not dawah. That's a gesture. That's a gesture. Just like sadaqah. That's not like going downtown and you see somebody sleeping on the sidewalk, okay, and you give him $1 and you call that, I gave my sadaqah. No, that's a gesture. Dawah is ongoing. And dawah is an institution. And dawah is something that has to be planned, and dawah is something that has to be managed. And dawah is something which, it is just like this mosque. It is evident. It is like basmati rice. So the Asians, they know basmati rice, right? How do you know basmati rice? Huh? It's impossible for someone living upstairs over top of an Asian family. The Asian family, he cannot hide he's cooking basmati rice. So it's impossible for non-Muslims to live among Muslims who's giving dawah and not know the fragrance of Islam. The fragrance of Islam is not known by pamphlets. When you see Muslims have to give out pamphlets, then you should know that their dawah is weak. Because the first dawah of the Muslim, it is not pamphlets. What is it? It is his behavior. If you work with a Muslim, you know he doesn't drink. You know he doesn't drug. You know he doesn't make zina. You know he doesn't gamble. You know he doesn't curse. You know he is not prejudiced. You know he is decent. You know he is honest. Or she, you know it because you're working, living, going to school with them day by day. You cannot hide the character. Is it right or wrong? And as a result of that character that you get from them, you start asking them questions and you start to respect them. This is our dawah. When you see that Muslims are forced to print up pamphlets to distribute to people, this means that their dawah is weak. No. No, when non-Muslims, they want to be with us. When non-Muslims, they like to be around us. When non-Muslims tell another non-Muslim how they respect us, then when there's some issues come up that maybe we are unable to convey to them properly, then we give them what?
Pamphlet.
A pamphlet. You see, it goes different. Next, citizenship and responsibility. Now, you know, America is a different country than Europe or than the UK. I'll tell you why. I give a talk in the UK, and I'm talking to 1,000 people, right? Muslims, again, most of them Muslims. So in the course of my talk, I say, how many of you are citizens of Great Britain? You know, just out of nowhere, I just say that. How many of you are citizens of Britain? And the Muslims are like looking at each other like I asked someone, I said, who is citizens? They don't want to raise their hand because they still think they're Pakistani. They still think they're Bangladeshi. They still think they're Arabs. They still think that they're Somali. They don't understand. They think if they were to say, I'm British, that somehow somebody's going to think they're Murtad. So how foolish the Muslims. You're living in a country and they give you housing, they give you food, they give you education, they give you a passport, they give you safety, they give you identity, they give you liberty, they give you everything. And you are hesitant to say that you acknowledge their constitution and you acknowledge that you are responsible to live there? Because what is citizenship? Citizenship means responsibility. That's all it means. It doesn't mean I swear allegiance to the flag. Doesn't mean I swear allegiance to the Queen or to George Bush or Obama. That's not what citizenship means.